What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to open 3 envelopes and profile each of the players that I got back recently in the mail. So we're going to jump right into this first one, postmarked from Wichita, Kansas. And it is a return from former Wichita State legend Phil Stephenson on 1, 2, a third, and a fourth. So these are obviously his pro cards when he was in the minor leagues and in the majors, but Phil Stephenson was a big-time player for Wichita State University, so let me tell you about Phil Stephenson and his career in baseball. Stephenson, an Oklahoma native, attended high school in Guthrie, Oklahoma, then later went on to play college baseball at Wichita State University. He was drafted a couple times at Wichita State, but finally chose to sign in 1982 when he was drafted in the 3rd round by the Oakland A's. So before he turned pro, one of the amazing things that he did at Wichita State University was he played under his older brother Gene, who actually was a coach. And Phil hit safely in what was then the longest hitting streak in Division I college baseball history. He hit in 47 straight games in 1981 for the Shockers. His record was later broken by Oklahoma State's Robin Ventura, who went on to do it for 58 straight games in 1987. More famously, he was also the victim of one of the most famous plays in College World Series baseball history, which was called the Grand Illusion play by the Miami Hurricanes in 1982. And I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I'm sure you can YouTube that and find it and learn all about it. Stephenson was originally drafted in the 3rd round by the A's. He was then traded to the Chicago Cubs after spending a few years in the minor leagues with the A's before the 1986 season. He worked his way up through the Cubs system, and as you can see on the back of this card, you see a lot of stats. Stephenson was 28 years old when he made his major league debut for the Chicago Cubs. And this is actually his rookie card, and I want to say that was either an 88 or 89 Iowa Cubs card. After making his debut with the Cubs in 89, he was then dealt to the San Diego Padres that September to finish a major league deal as the player to be named later. He would stick around with the Padres, playing the outfield, first base, and being a pinch hitter, a left-handed bat off the bench, until 1992 with the Padres. He then played 2 more seasons of minor league baseball with the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals before retiring. Well, during the strike-shortened season in 1994, Stephenson would make a brief comeback as a replacement player in 1995, playing for the team that originally called him up to the majors, the Chicago Cubs, during spring training. Obviously, the strike was settled, and so he did not have a job after that happened. So, after he was let go by the Cubs a second time, after the dust settled after the strike, he decided to manage in the mid-90s, managing the Abilene Prairie Dogs in 1996, and then he went on to be a head baseball coach for Dodge City Community College. As of right now, according to his Wikipedia page, he does on-air radio sports in the Wichita area. I cannot confirm that, on KGSO, which is a sports talk radio station in Wichita. I don't know if he's still on there, but according to his Wikipedia page, he is. So, in total, from 1982 through 1994, so almost 12 years, Stephenson spent 12 years primarily in the minor leagues, but getting his chance appearing in 194 games, primarily with the San Diego Padres. He appeared in just 17 with the Cubs before being traded. So he had a very brief career, posted a lifetime .201 batting average with 6 home runs, but the majority of his career was spent in the minor leagues. But he is probably most well known for his collegiate baseball career, and having such a successful run with the Wichita State Shockers. So we'll move on to the next one. Thank you, Mr. Stephenson, and we'll see who else we got. All right, so this next one is postmarked from Florida. And this is former pitcher of the Philadelphia Phillies on 1, 2, 3, and 4, Don Carman. And let me tell you about Don Carman and his career in baseball. So Don Carman, another Oklahoma native, went to Leedy High School in Oklahoma. He later went on to pitch at Seminole State College in Oklahoma and the University of Oklahoma in Norman, Oklahoma. He signed as a free agent with the Philadelphia Phillies after he completed his career collegiately. Standing at 6'3", the tall lefty worked his way up through the Phillies minor league system at 19 years old. And then finally, in 1983, after posting successful records at both AA and AAA, he got his call up to the majors for one game in 1983. He just pitched one inning in 1983, but he did get the save. Well, in 1984, he didn't quite make the team and was sent back down to AAA. He posted some decent numbers in AAA and wound up splitting most of the season, 39 games in AAA, with 11 in the majors. In 1985, he made the Phillies, and he appeared in 71 games as a reliever, posting a 9-4 record with a 2.08 ERA in his first year in the major leagues for a full season. The following year, in 1986, the Phillies decided to let him be a starter, a spot starter, and he responded by posting a 10-5 record with a 3.22 ERA. Well, in 1987, the Phillies would make him a full-time starter where he would start 35 games for the Phillies that year, posting a 13-win and 11-loss record. 1988 would be more of the same, where he would start 36 games for the Phillies, posting a 10-14 record. Well, in 1989, he actually had a dubious honor that year, where he split time as a spot starter and a reliever, but he posted a 5-15 record in 1989 for the Phillies, and the 15 losses actually led the league that year. In 1990, he would shift back to being primarily used out of the bullpen. He only had one start that year, and he bounced back, posting a 6-2 record and a 4.15 ERA. Well, after the 1990 season, he was granted free agency, and he signed with the Houston Astros early in 1991. Well, he went to spring training with the Astros, and they released him on April 2nd of that year. Well, he was only unemployed for about a week, and he signed with the Cincinnati Reds. He didn't last very long with the Reds that year in 1991 and was granted a release on July 18th in 91. Later in August, he would then sign with the Kansas City Royals, where he would finish out the year with the Royals and then be granted free agency after the season with the Royals. In 1992, he would sign with the Texas Rangers. He would appear in just 2 games for the Rangers in the major leagues, but would spend the majority of the season in AA and AAA for the Rangers, posting a 7-9 record and a 3.46 ERA. After the season with the Rangers, he was granted free agency, and in 1993, he would appear in just 6 games for the Seattle Mariners AAA organization, and in 1994, he would re-sign with the Phillies for one last run, but they would not call him up to the majors, where he would appear in just 3 games in 1994, which was the strike-shortened season. I'd like to think maybe if the season wouldn't have ended the way it was, maybe Carman would have had another chance to pitch in the majors for the Phillies, but as we know, the strike in 94 kind of ended a lot of plans. Well, the cool thing is, after retirement, Carman went back to school, and he actually got his psychology degree. And he is currently a baseball psychologist working in Florida that assists primarily pitchers, I'm guessing, with baseball psychology. I would assume that he could probably work with other people other than pitchers, but I'm guessing his main focus is psychology with pitchers. So I want to thank Mr. Carman for taking the time to sign his autograph. He's a lefty, so he's one of those guys that stuck around for quite a while. Had a pretty effective career, pretty decent career over that time period that he was in the majors, and bounced around in the minor leagues, still playing baseball towards the end of his career. So we'll move on to the next one. Thank you, Mr. Carman. All right, so this final one, I am super excited to share with you. I had been wanting to share this with you for such a long time, and it is postmarked from California, and I have completed, to the best of my abilities, my 1978 Rookie Pitcher's Star card with Dennis Lamp. I've also included an 89 Fleer, a 91 Score, and also an 87 Fleer, that's just a regular one, an 87 Fleer showing him as a Toronto Blue Jay. So I just want to point out, I've shared this in previous episodes. I will link that at the end. I will link them down at the bottom so you can see the episodes with Craig Mitchell and Roy Thomas. Unfortunately, Cardell Camper, the final guy on that card, is no longer with us and has passed away. So this is as complete as you can get this card right now as of me shooting this. And if others out there have that one, this proved in the last year or two, I was able to get all of these guys to sign. Now, one thing I do want to point out is Mr. Lamp has a ton of cards. He played a long time in the majors, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But this is the second time I wrote Mr. Lamp, and thankfully I did not send that card because this was during the COVID period in 2020, and I never saw those cards again. And it was just amazing to me that somebody that was that good of a signer didn't return my cards. So I chalked it up as a loss. I think Mr. Lamp probably signed them. They just got lost in the mail somewhere because I've seen so many other people get his autograph. It's kind of like, what happened to mine? So let me tell you about Dennis Lamp and his career in baseball, which spanned a long time. So standing at 6'4", 200 pounds, Dennis Lamp was a tall, imposing figure on the pitching mound. He was originally drafted by the Chicago Cubs in the 3rd round out of high school in California. As an 18-year-old kid, he was assigned to the Chicago Cubs rookie ball affiliate, where he had posted a 1-2 record his first season. Well, his second year in 1972, going back to rookie ball, he had a breakout year, posting a 7-2 record in 14 games with a minuscule 1.93 ERA. From 1973 to 1977, he would work his way up through the Cubs minor league system, where he finally got his call up to the major leagues on August 21st, 1977. He would round out finishing the year with the Cubs, starting 3 games with them, appearing in 11, posting a 0-2 record and a 6 ERA. Well, despite the somewhat poor showing his rookie season, he made the Cubs pitching staff out of spring training and as one of the starters on the 1978 staff. He posted a 7-15 record his first full year in the major leagues, but his ERA was just 3.30. He would continue to be part of the Cubs pitching rotation through 1980. After the 1980 season, right before the 81 season was about to begin, the Cubs asked him to move across town and traded him to the Chicago White Sox for Kent Kravick. Lamp would then kind of be a spot starter for the Chicago White Sox, starting 10 games, appearing in 27 that year, posting a 7-6 record and just a 2.41 ERA. He would pitch through the 1983 season with the White Sox, and by 1983, at 30 years old, he was primarily being used as a relief pitcher for the White Sox, where he posted a .500 record of 7-7 with a 3.71 ERA. Well, after the 83 season, he was granted free agency and he signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. He would spend the next few seasons with the Blue Jays, and after the 1986 season, he was released by the Blue Jays. He would then sign with the Cleveland Indians in 1987. He would go into spring training with the Indians, and they would actually release him from his contract. Well, after being released by the Indians, he would sign with the Oakland A's. And in 1987, Lamp would pitch 1 year with the A's, appearing in 36 games, posting a 1-3 record. Well, after the 87 season, he would again be a free agent and would sign with the Boston Red Sox. Well, Lamp would find his form again with Boston, and at 35 years old, posted a 7-6 record with a 3.48 ERA in 46 games. Well, the following year, he would have an even better season, where he posted just a 2.32 ERA in 42 games and a 4.2 win-loss record. In 1990 and 91, he would appear in 47 games and 51 games respectively for the Red Sox. After the 1991 season, the 39-year-old Dennis Lamp would sign as a free agent with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Unfortunately, he would only spend through June with the Pirates, as they sent him to both their AAA and their Major League affiliate, and in 21 games, with a 1-1 record, he posted a 5 ERA and was released by the Pirates. And if you recall, the Pirates then are not the Pirates of now. Those Pirates were actually a very, very good team featuring Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke. So, unfortunately, the 39-year-old reliever found himself as the odd man out. Now, the amazing thing about Dennis Lamp, the guy pitched 16 years in the major leagues, spanning 3 decades. He made his first appearance in 1977 and his last appearance in 1992. So over this career, spanning 3 decades, Lamp had a win-loss record of 96 wins and 96 losses, exactly 500. His ERA was 3.93 throughout his career. During that time, he pitched in 639 total games, and he started 153 of them. So this is that individual that stuck around for a long time. Obviously, he was a good pitcher throughout his career. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played as long as he did. So I want to thank Mr. Lamp for completing the 78 Rookie Stars card, or Rookie Pitchers card, to the best of his abilities. Like I said, I can't get Cardle to sign it anymore. I also want to thank Mr. Don Carman for signing his cards as well. I also want to thank college baseball legend Phil Stephenson for signing his cards. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about some baseball players from the past. I want to thank you and look forward to your comments below. And as always, happy collecting.